19 29வது வசனத்திலிருந்து 48வது வசனம் வரைக்கும் நம்ம மாறி மாறி வாசிக்கலாம். 28 சஞ்சலத்தால் என் ஆத்துமா கரைந்து போகிறது, உமது வசனத்தின்படி என்னை எடுத்து நிறுத்தும். மெய் வழியை நான் தெரிந்து கொண்டு உம்முடைய நியாயங்களை எனக்கு முன்பாக நிறுத்தினேன். நீர் என் இருதயத்தை விசாலமாக்கும் போது நான் உமது கற்பனைகளின் வழியாக ஓடுவேன். எனக்கு உணர்வை தாரும், அப்பொழுது நான் உமது வேதத்தை பற்றிக் கொண்டு என் முழு இருதயத்தோடும் அதை கைக்கொள்ளுவேன். என் இருதயம் பொருளாசையாயிராமல் உமது சாட்சிகளை சாரும்படி செய்யும். உமக்கு பயப்படுகிறதற்கு ஏற்ற உமது வாக்கை உமது அடியேனுக்கு உறுதிப்படுத்தும். இதோ உம்முடைய கட்டளைகள் மேல் வாஞ்சையாயிருக்கிறேன், உமது நீதியால் என்னை உயிர்ப்பியும். அப்பொழுது என்னை நிந்திக்கிறவர்களுக்கு உத்தரவு சொல்லுவேன், உம்முடைய வசனத்தை நம்பி இருக்கிறேன். நான் எப்பொழுதும் என்றைக்கும் உமது வேதத்தை காத்துக் கொள்வேன். நான் உம்முடைய சாட்சிகளை குறித்து ராஜாக்களுக்கு முன்பாகவும் வெட்கப்படாமல் பேசுவேன். சேர்ந்து வாசிக்கலாம். ஆமென். நீங்க எல்லாம் உட்காரலாம். ஜாஷுவா நமக்கு அந்த வசனங்களை மெடிடேட் பண்ணுவோம்.
So in Psalm 119 verses 25 to 48, it's very difficult to understand. So how we understand is we break it up into what we can learn from it. Verses 25 to 27 and 33 to 34 have similar meanings about how when we come before God, we can't come before Him with who we are and who we become. We must humble ourselves before Him. We must go back to who we were when we were born. We had nothing, we came from nothing, so that's how we must approach God. Then when we become humble before God, that's how we start our path to understanding and His teaching. Verses 28 to 29 tell us that when we come before God and when we are weak, we need to be able to ask Him for help and ask Him for strength. If we can't depend on God, we can't depend on anyone else. So we need to be able to come to Him in any situation. Verses 30 to 32 say that to be able to follow God, you need to be able to, you can't just say you can follow God. You need to be able to prove that to yourself and to others. So it's not something that you just believe. You need to be able to show it in your works, in your actions, in your words, so that others may see you and they come to God as well. Verses 35 to 37 they say that we should be able to ask God for help as well. Sometimes we only come to God for when we really need Him, or that when we need something or some materialistic thing. But we need to also be able to come to God for help with ourselves. Maybe if we want to become a better person, if we want more understanding, if we want to understand others better, we need to be able to come to God and ask Him first. Verses 38 to 40 talk about how the only way we are able to change as a person is if we ask God. We can't change who we are ourselves. We need to ask God for His help first. Then we start to change as a person. Verses 41 to 42 tell us that the only way we're not tempted or worried about any issue that comes before us is when we ask God to envelop or shower us in His love and salvation. That's the only way we are able to defend ourselves or guard ourselves against temptation or any other thing. Verses 43 to 45 tell us about how to experience true freedom or true free will in this world, we need to put our trust in God. He gives us free will, but we won't be able to completely understand that or completely be in that fully unless we give ourselves to God first. And finally, verses 46 to 48 say how we need to be able to trust God and His words, not just trust what we think. We need to be able to trust Him in any scenario without anything that we believe getting in the way. So overall, in these verses in Psalm 119, we need to learn to humble ourselves and put ourselves before God before we can become any kind of better person or anything like that. We need to be able to know what we're wrong and when we're wrong and come before God and ask Him for His help.